back to How to Trade. I'm Shane Vernier, and this is the 5813 Scalping Workshop. Today, we're going to do some scalping. I know everybody loves to scalp. It's one of the most popular ways to trade in the entire world, and the reason why is it's affordable, and it's also action-packed. You can get yourself in and out of a lot of trades quickly. The 5813 is a fantastic way to do that. It gives you an opportunity to trade short-term price action within the context of broader trends. In my view, there's a few strategies that I really like. We've built a lot of these strategies for the How to Trade channel over the past year or so. There's a couple of them that I really like. This is one of them. This is a good way to approach maybe a 5-minute or a 1-minute chart. A lot of people will argue with that. That's fine. Believe me, I understand your skepticism, but it can be done. You can trade strategies like this profitably, but what you've got to do is you've got to have a few things really in your arsenal, a few tools in the tool belt, so you can get in there and decide exactly how to approach the market, but also be able to execute. So you got one thing, you have a strategy, but then you have your inputs. And as long as you have the inputs that complement the strategy, you're going to be in good shape. So before you try to do 5813 EMA strategies, you need to have a computing power. I recommend either a laptop, a desktop, or a mobile phone. Make sure that your computer's working well. I don't care if it's your phone. Make sure it's bug-free. I don't want to see anybody out there with a phone that's not up to the task trying to trade over a wireless connection with a phone that's got a virus or it's clunky. You can't do that. You will lose, I guarantee it. So what you've got to do is you've got to get in there. You've got to get good computing power, as fast of an internet connection as you possibly can, and then you apply the strategy. I'm going to show you exactly how to build these 5813 EMA trades. I'm going to show you time frames. We're going to look at gold, Great Britain pound, and Euro USD. Those things are moving right now in a big way. A lot going on as far as geopolitics is concerned. I'm going to begin with the news cycle, and then we're going to jump right into our workshop. So if you have any questions at all, be sure to ask me. I will answer them in due time. Tuka, good to see you. Welcome everybody out there in YouTube land and also in our How to Trade community. All right, guys. Before we get started with this workshop, I'm sorry, my chair is a little bit sagging today. We've sort of been very busy this morning, and a lot going on, guys. A lot going on. I'm going to do a quick news blitz, and then we're going to jump right in because you need to know this news. You need to know this because this is very important. And by the next time that I'm on, maybe tomorrow for FRMC Live, the news may have already broke. We may have already seen these developments, but I want to get on the record and I want to tell you what's coming because I think there's a pretty good chance that this is going to happen. U.S. to bomb Iran. I think that's on the front burner here. I've been listening to a lot of media sources today across really all the gamut, the mainstream media, the left, the right, the alt-right, the alt-left. I've been listening to all of it, and it all really points to battle groups being moved to the Middle East region. We've moved 2 aircraft carrier battle groups, which consist of 12 aircraft carriers apiece. Those went to the Middle East. Typically, you do that when you're going to bomb somebody and do it in a big way. So when the ships start moving, we have to take notice of what may happen. But what we've got here is you've got all the different scenarios, and you can read all this stuff you want. Really, you're not going to learn anything here. This is what really has me up. This got my attention. This was just a few minutes ago. These are posts from Truth Social. Donald Trump, President of the United States. We know exactly where Khomeini's hiding, but we're not going to kill him for now. A lot of really tough talk here. This is one of those things that we need to pay attention to. We know exactly, this is a Truth Social post from Donald Trump about 45 minutes ago. We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but he's safe there. We're not going to kill him, at least not for now. We don't want missiles shot at civilians or soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And then he came in and said, unconditional surrender is the only acceptable outcome here. The United States is going to bomb them. And I think that the guys that I've been listening to today, I'm not going to tell you who, but a lot of the folks have very good sources. Remember, the media is huge now. It's not just a few of the big channels here in the United States. There's a lot of folks online that have very good sources that are very near the administration. They believe that it's coming in the next 48 hours. I just don't know. I don't know, but I will tell you this. Be very careful if you're trading gold. Be very careful if you're trading oil. If, in fact, the United States launches large-scale attacks on Iran, U.S. oil will absolutely spike. Right now, we're seeing about a 3.3% gain today in U.S. oil, up around 72.25, 72.31. You bet. You betcha. Those are the folks that are getting long, anticipating a big-time strike. Now, listen, the strike itself probably is not going to drive the markets directionally, meaning when the U.S. puts battle groups in the air, when they put planes in the air, and they decide to start dropping bombs on Iran, it's not necessarily going to blow gold through the roof or crude oil through the roof. What will is the response. What will is the response. remember, situations like this are wildly unpredictable. I know that we have a lot of think tanks that sit around and they war game this stuff. They sit around, they go, okay, what will a strike on Iran look like? What could possibly happen? It's sort of that decision tree. I don't know if you've ever worked through a decision tree, but you figure out, okay, I make this decision, now this happens, now this happens. So one thing is the catalyst, and then we just sort of move forward in time. War is wildly unpredictable. Wildly unpredictable. A lot of folks out there believe they know exactly how it'll go. I will tell you this, any surprise will blow our markets apart. And you will see it. You'll see a big crash in equities. You'll see gold. Gold goes right to 4,000. Excuse me. If we do see a big surprise attack somewhere, a surprise retaliation from Iran, maybe Iranian terror cells around the world. I'm just telling you, that's the reality of what we live in. So the rest of this week, I want you guys on high alert. I want you watching news. I want you remembering, hey, if I'm in the market and I'm taking a position, I'm exposed. Remember that. It's very, very important. This is the basis, guys. It's the basis of systemic risk. It's the basis. Systemic risk is something that could crash the entire system. These are the types of things that can do that. Now, I'm not sitting here. I mean, my sources are probably the same as anybody that just keeps their ears and eyes open. Been doing this a long time. I still remember 9/11 before many of you were born. And I'm telling you, this right now is a very delicate situation. I think that the United States hits Iran in the next 72 hours, if not maybe early next week. Probably over the weekend. We've been dealing with a lot of news on the weekend. So that's enough about geopolitics, but you've got to be ready for it if you're trading. You've got to be ready for it. Okay, Dave F19, good to see you, Dave. All right, everybody, let's get on with the show. This is the 5813 EMA Scalping Strategy. You guys tuned in for a workshop. I'm going to give you one. But we had to start with the elephant in the room. We've got to be ready for this stuff. We've got to be ready, or else you're doomed to lose. 5813 EMA Scalping Strategy. Simple's better. Simple is better. That's one of the rules on this live stream. Remember, if it makes money, it's the right answer. Simple is always better. And if I don't know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I do. But I do know the 5813 pretty well. And so we're going to go ahead and rock and roll with it. Relatively simple. 3 rules. When the 5 crosses over the 8, we look to trade. Price must be above or below all 3 EMAs before we buy it or sell it. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. That's easy. On a buy, price has to be above all 3 EMAs or we don't even consider the buy. On a sell, it's got to be below all 3 EMAs or we don't even consider a sell. Why is that the case? Believe it or not, the 13 EMA is the most important EMA in this strategy. The crossovers, yeah, they're great. I mean, that's okay. We got a crossover. It's time to trade. The 13 gives us a look at what the broader market's doing. So if I'm on a 1-minute chart, when we get a couple of crazy 1-minute bars, that 13 is what keeps us grounded. It keeps us rooted in reality. It shows us where the market is headed. The 13, in my view, is the most important EMA in this strategy by far. Okay. Buy or sell on the first bar close. Bottom line, we get a crossover, price breaks beneath all 3 EMAs, we sell it. We get a crossover, you're looking to buy when price is above all 3 EMAs on that bar close. What time frames are we going to look at? We are scalping. I'm going to be looking at anywhere from the 1, the 5, and the 15. I love the 30-minute chart on this type of strategy. It's just I didn't see any trades that we could actually execute here. And then one last thing we're going to do today that's going to make it just a little bit different. This is what the actual trade would look like. You can see there's your cross under. There's going to be your sell right on that bar close, and then you're getting in on the runner. That's the idea, is to get in on runners. One thing that we're going to add today, though, is confirmation, and we're going to do it right from the jump. Now, when we're scalping, short time frames, lots of trades. You're going to be looking to trade 10, 15, 20 times a day, depending on how many markets you're looking at. You'd maybe even be taking 50 trades a day if you're doing a 1-minute chart on 5 different markets. You can easily do that over the course of a trading session. Now, confirmation is an incredibly useful thing. It's useful on short time frames. It helps us eliminate the noise and stay out of the chop. Absolutely imperative that we understand the concept of confirmation. In technical analysis, confirmation refers to the use of an additional indicator or indicators to substantiate a trend suggested by one indicator. Since technical indicators are not perfect predictors of future price movements, a trader often feels more secure deciding to act on a signal. Okay, what we're going to use is RSI. It's the same thing I use for all of these crossover strategies. And the reason why I do it is it's easy. It is simple. The relative strength index tells us when we're overbought and when we're oversold. That's it. The crossover gets us into the market. The RSI confirms that we should be looking to get into the market. That's it. Very, very simple. Now, the rules are easy. The confirmation's easy. I'm going to show you exactly how to execute these trades and do it all right now. Okay, let me see. Harry, scary times indeed. Harry, I tell you what, I probably should just sit here and talk geopolitics instead of crossover strategies, but I scheduled this last week. I am very, very, very surprised by Trump's stance right now. Very surprised. Very surprised. So I think that we're in for some interesting stuff. Iran's a formidable nation. They have a lot of guns. They have a lot of missiles. See what happens. All right, let me see. Varela, good to see you, Varela. Hello, love your style, voice, and explaining. Thank you, Varela. I sure appreciate it. I hope I said your name right. I'm not very good at pronunciating really any names, but I sure do appreciate the compliment. Thank you. What's with the 21 EMA? We're not doing the 21 EMA. That's on a different video, but a lot of folks love the 921. I love the 920. Feel free to use whichever EMAs you'd like. The 13 EMA is my own personal bread and butter, the one that I rely on for support and resistance and trend confirmation. Let me see Usman. Good to see you, Usman. Can we add it for extra confluence? You know, Varela, you can if you want. If you want to put a 21 on here, you can. I don't think you need it. I really don't think you need it. I think the 13 is going to give us everything we need to do, or everything we need to know as far as the trend's direction. But if you want to put it up there, the 21, certainly can. Feel free. Let me see David from Jamaica in the house. Good to see you, David. Probably down on the beach, enjoying some of that beautiful emerald water in Jamaica. I've never been. Maybe someday, right? All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and start with the Euro USD 5-minute chart. Now, what we're looking at here is a trade that's going to set up probably right after we get off of our live stream. But for the sake of argument, our RSI, Relative Strength Index. Now, listen, the periodicity, here's your settings. RSI length, we're just sticking with the factory settings. The length of 14, the source is going to be the close, and then you're going to be sitting there with a type. It's just a simple moving average. Don't worry about the smoothing. Don't get wrapped up in the smoothing, and also the time frame. We're going to base that on the chart. Now, the RSI length is just going to be 14. Now, RSI, Relative Strength Index, was developed by Wells Wilder Jr., market technician, a famous market technician, and I believe he did this work back in the 70s. That's a long time ago. Still works, though. It's just conceptual. All we're looking for is a market that's out of whack. Remember, we trade when markets are in disequilibrium. When a market is absolutely flat and the buyers are balanced with the sellers, there's nothing happening. You don't want to get in there and trade that market. But when maybe the sellers are outweighing the buyers, or maybe the buyers are outweighing the sellers, price is in a state of disequilibrium. It means it's going to do this to try to find a state of equilibrium. I love that kind of trading. That's the kind of trading that we need to be trying to do. Okay, so right here on the Euro USD, we've got sort of a big sell-off. We're down about 0.5%. 5-minute chart, really some good price action here. Coming off. We're deep into oversold territory. What we want to do right now is buy. Remember, on the RSI, we are oversold when the RSI is under 30, and we're overbought when it's over 70. When we're under 30, we want to buy the market. When we're over 70, we want to sell the market. Really, that's all there is to it. So, nice big break right there. We're watching our EMAs closely. Now, our EMAs are right here. My 5, I love to color code them. My 5, I always make that red. I always make it red. And the reason why is I watch the red one because that's our trigger bar. That's our hot bar. When the red one crosses the blue one and price breaks above all 3 of them, then you're in great shape. That would be our buy. Right now, we're looking to buy this market. Now, we're a ways off, guys. These lines are pretty much parallel. They're definitely showing signals of a strong 5-minute trend. We're going to need this market to base out a little bit, and then we can go ahead and look to get long. But we are in oversold territory. That means I want to buy the market. I'm looking to buy. 5-minute chart, though, not giving us much. Let's go to a 1-minute chart. Euro USD is definitely, it's happening. Okay, now, I can already hear the question. So you guys don't even have to ask it. Am I on a buy or a sell right now, 1-minute chart? We were deep in oversold territory right there. I'm on a buy. I want to buy this market. And the reason why I want to buy this market is because we're still trending down a bit. We're right down around that 30 level. What we're looking for here is going to be a 1-minute buy. Now, in order for us to get this, we're going to have to get the market to come our way. We're going to have to see that 5 break up over the 8. And that price bar is going to have to close above the 5.8 and the 13. So we're going to have to see a close up above the purple line before we can get into the bid. And if we don't get it, then we don't get it. So something like this is pretty interesting. And I want to show you really why we talk about it has to close above all 3 of the moving averages. Take a look at what happened here. All right, right behind my picture. Let me see if we can get a better illustration of this. Right back here at about, 25 minutes ago, deep into oversold territory, we're looking to buy this market. Okay, what didn't happen? We didn't get our crossover, and even if you say maybe we crossed right there, you didn't get the bar close up above that 13 EMA. That kept you out of jail. That meant that you saved your money. You didn't get faked out. Why? Because even if this was a crossover, and it doesn't look to me like it did, but even if this was a crossover, you didn't get the bar close above all three. That means that the market's direction did not change. Very, very, very important that if you're going to be a system trader and you're going to be a structure trader, that you observe the rules of your system and your structure and your methodology exactly. Be consistent with them. Don't just say, well, I want to trade really bad and there's the crossover, but we didn't get the price to close above all three. You're going to lose. You don't want that. So something like this, we're definitely on a buy. We're just waiting for it to set up. Let's go ahead and go over the Great Britain Pound USD. Same basic type of thing. The real question is did we in fact get a long signal here or didn't we? This is another 1 minute chart. Price is coming off in a big, big way. Right now, the US dollar is flexing a little bit. Nice big break right there. Deep in oversold territory. Did we get the crossover? Right there was the crossover. Right there was the close. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what a losing trade would look like. Right there would have been your entry. You would have bought the top of this market. Where would your stop loss have been? You have a couple of options. You probably could have done maybe something like this. You could have put it beneath the signal bar itself to play tight and get out relatively tight. My stop loss would have been probably right down there, right beneath that swing low. We could have put it down beneath that spike low if we wanted. But once again, these aren't huge trades. If you're going to trade a 1 minute chart using this type of methodology, you need to be able to understand market structure. Even though this area right here looks like it could be a good stop, just put it down beneath that swing low. Why would you do that? Because we're only talking about 34.67 and 34.74. We're talking about 7 pips. That's nothing. What's the difference between 6 pips and 7 pips? Nothing. If you're going to do this on a 1 or 5 minute chart, probably a 1 minute chart, definitely on a forex pair, just use market structure. Be smart. That loss right there looks bad. You took a 7 pip hit. That's not a problem. Are we still looking to buy right now? Market's got to go a little bit lower for us to get into that oversold territory, and then we'll look to bid it. But right this second, we've definitely got the U.S. dollars on the move, and potentially this 5.813 might be able to catch us, maybe grab a bottom in some of these forex majors. You definitely want to do that. Let me see, Eli 50 SMA. Let me see, Tom Chesrone, go Grizz, go USA, go Grizz, absolutely. University of Montana alumni here, class of 2002. I was actually just back in Missoula last week watching a concert. Looking forward to football season ticket holder, so I can't wait to go. So good to see you, Tom. Always love a go Grizz. Let me see, Varilla, thanks for the clarification. What's your personal favorite EMA strategy, the 13? I use the 13 within my Fibonacci counterpunch strategy, and I use it for confirmation. So if my 13 lines up with my Fibonacci's, that's where I trade from, but it's a big deal to me. I always know where the 13 is, always. Eli, a 50 SMA. Good to see Eli. You could use a 50 SMA if you wanted. We're just doing EMAs right now, though, and I think we're going to be in pretty good shape doing just that. So there's our mover. We've got the U.S. dollars definitely on the move. Now we're definitely in buying territory. I want to buy. But right now you've got 2 majors and they're both moving the same way. Okay, let's look at something else. This is going to be gold futures. Now I love the gold futures markets. They've been pretty good to me over the years. I'm a big fan. This is one where we're not even looking at the RSI. I don't have confirmation up there. Now, here's one thing that I will say about this, and I'm not just making this up willy-nilly. On say longer time frames, let's say like a 4-hour time frame, a 30-minute time frame, a 15-minute time frame. In my personal humble opinion, you don't need RSI confirmation. The 13 EMA is all the confirmation you need. Now, the reason why we would use confirmation on like a 1 minute or maybe a 5 minute or a 30-second chart is because we do need that added context. Is price in a state of disequilibrium? Now, with just the 13 EMA and the construct of the 5 crossing over the 8, with respect to where the 13 is located, we already know we have pricing disequilibrium, especially on something like a 15 or a 30-minute chart. So I would use confirmation on small time frames. That's typically my approach. Something like a 1 minute or 5 minute, that can keep you from getting into trouble. But something like this, a 15-minute chart off on this gold futures, you can see exactly what you have. Right there's your crossover. There would have been your entry right there. Crossover, bang. Right there's your cross. Price is above all three, and that would have been your bid. So I know we're sort of reverse engineering these trades that have already developed, and that's one of the really hard things about doing one of these strategies live. But this realistically would have been your trade, something like this. So where would our profit target be? We know our stop loss is going to be beneath that swing low. There's your entry. I would be looking at something like maybe the top of market structure here. I know we have an absolute ton of smart money traders out there, ICT concepts. I'm not a real big fan, but market structure is not a bad concept. I called them order blocks for years and years and years. That order block right there is probably what you're going to be shooting for, maybe somewhere right up around 34.10, maybe 34.13-ish. That's a pretty good trade, but it already happened. So let's just go ahead and see if we can find one that's getting ready to happen. So we definitely have some action, starting to develop here. I'm just going to pick one of these majors and leave them. I'm going to stick with the Euro USD. Let's back this off to say, let's go to a NASDAQ futures. I always go to NASDAQ futures because they typically give us trades because they're crazy. They move crazy. As far as our volumes go, I would have to double check and see. It doesn't look like we're quite rolling over just yet, but these are June contracts. Remember the YM, the ES, and the NQ. That's going to be your E-mini Dow, E-mini S&P 500, and E-mini NASDAQ. Those are all quarterly contracts, so you will see that expiration sometime this month. I believe it's this week, actually. You know what? Let me just look at it real quick. Take us 2 seconds. But this right here is good downward price action. I do believe that we have an opportunity here to buy probably in the next several minutes. We just haven't really got anything to set up just yet. Wait, and I want to see the rollover. So 1 second on this before we start getting in here and trading these. Rollover is very important if you want just a quick crash course on it. These are futures contracts, and what rollover really is when we move from a front month contract to sort of a deferred month. And what that means is the volume rolls over from the contract we're trading now to the contract that we're going to be trading. So right here, if you do take a look at this, we're going to go quotes, E-mini NASDAQ futures. This is how you tell rollover immediately. Okay, we've already rolled over to SEPI. So we're trading SEPI. That's a quarterly contract. So you're going to want to go, if we're going to trade NQ in NASDAQ futures, you're going to want to go with the NQ. That's September contract. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Now, listen, this stuff's tough. I mean, you've got to be able to stay on top of this stuff at all times. If you're going to scalp, you've got to know where the volume is. You've got to know where everything is. So something like this, NQ. All right, we go to SEPI. All right, that's a little bit cleaner chart, better price action, at least on a 1 minute time frame. So what we have here is we aren't quite in oversold territory. We need the price to move down just a little bit more, and then we'll be on a buy here for the NASDAQ. Can we go to a shorter time frame? I will tell you this. Life gets interesting when you're down around a 30-second chart. Still don't have the sell there, though. We need to get outside, out below that RSI. We did not. So that's not going to work. Let's go back to that 1 minute and see if we can get a setup here today. All right, let's try a different one here. What else could we really hit? Euro USD? Okay, here we go. This could be game on here any minute. Okay, great little setup, what we've got cooking right here. What we're looking for now is two things. Number one, RSI was already in oversold territory, so I'm going to want to buy this market. The real question is are we going to get the crossover? And are we going to get the close above all three moving averages? Now, sometimes you got to blow these charts way up to see if you, in fact, are going to get the crossover. Did we get it? Did it cross? There's your crossover. Has it developed yet? Not yet. You got to wait. See that? We aren't quite developed just yet. Now, listen, this is tough. A lot of people want to scalp on 1 minute charts, and they want to use crossovers to do it. You've got to wait until it crosses over. That's where coding, we did a video on coding this stuff on ChatGPT and then bringing it into PineScript. That's where those types of things earn their money. You just get a gold bar, you buy it. Purple bar, you sell it. All right, we're watching very closely here. I think we're going to get our crossover potentially. If we can get the next 30 seconds of bullish price action here, then we'll have an opportunity to buy. We'll end up buying the market and seeing exactly what's going on. But we've got to get two things to happen. Number one, that 5 has to cross over the 8. And number two, price has to be above the purple one as well. So we've got to be right up in here really to give us an opportunity to trade this. Now, the beauty of this is that the actual trade is going to be relatively easy to execute. We just have to get the setup. Now, what's happening right now? I mean, I want to execute a trade just as bad as you guys do to show you exactly how this works. The problem is if our filters aren't met, then we can't trade it. So right here, this would have been very tempting to take that trade thinking we'd already crossed over when we really hadn't. That crossover was not final. Price was right up here. We could have easily bought that and got destroyed. These things will keep you out of trouble. These systems will keep you out of trouble, but you got to follow them. You absolutely have to follow them. If you don't follow them, you can run into big, big trouble here. So that's something that you definitely want to keep an eye on as you roll deeper into this session and into your scalping career. You've got to make sure that you pay attention to what's happening and don't start projecting going, oh yeah, it's going to cross over and try to jump the gun on it. Don't do that. Wait. I mean, that's a great example of what really could happen when you're like, oh, well, did it cross over? No, it didn't. It didn't cross over. The 5 didn't cross the 8. If the 5 would have crossed the 8, then we would have been buying. Prices above all 3, we would have taken that buy, but it didn't. And it kept us out of deep Dutch, that's for sure. So you got to look out right there. Still on a buy here. We're still looking to buy that. How about the NASDAQ? Have we got an opportunity to do anything? Nope. Not yet. Not yet. How about gold? Gold, this 15-minute trade, absolutely love this trade. That's an absolute banger. We're going to look to drive hard. I think that you probably get paid off there. You may have to wait a while, but that's a pretty darn good position trade. Not a bad risk versus reward either, is it? 33.97. We bought in at 34.03. So that's what, about $6, something like that. And you're looking to make what? About 10 on the top side. That's about a 1.5 to 1. If you wanted to be like me, trade like me, you'd bring that down to a 1 to 1 and see if you couldn't just take the money right now. But if you're a market structure trader, you'd probably be all right with that type of a play. Interesting. Well, it looks like we're going to come up empty actually executing a live trade here. I could try to do something crazy, I guess. No, we'll get one. Okay, here's the comeback. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for the years. All right, what we want now is the crossover. Don't go yet. Don't buy yet. You can't buy yet. Now, the reason why is this crossover is not final. Remember what happened right over there. Okay, now we're starting to cook with gas. If we can hold up here, right up in this area for the next 45 seconds, we're going to have a buy order. So we're going to have a buy and a market. The reason why it's a market order, it's not the best way to do this, but it's going to give us a chance to buy in right on that bar close, and that's going to be it. Our crossover is developing. We're looking at T-minus 30 seconds, and then we're going to take a shot. I'll show you where to put the stop loss and the profit target, but this is pretty good stuff. We just got to hold our water right up here, right up around 114, maybe even 115. We're going to have to take 115 out in order for us to be successful in this trade. The crossover is developing. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. We're going to get a trade, are we really? 1 minute chart, Euro USD, plenty of volume, plenty of action. I don't hate this trade. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. All right, there it is. Bang, we're long. Okay, we're officially long this market. Now, what are we going to do? Stop loss. First thing you got to be thinking about, right beneath that double bottom. Remember, don't be a pork chop. Don't put your stop loss right on it. Don't put it 1 pip. Let's give it a pip or so just to relax there and make sure that it takes us out. Okay, 114.89 is our stop. What should our profit target be? Our entry point is 114.98, so we've got about a 9 pipper. If you wanted to go a 1-to-1 ratio like I do, excuse me, we'd be looking something right up there at maybe 115.08. That would, let's see, 98, yeah, 115.07. That potentially would be our profit target there. Now, if you wanted to go market structure and you said, okay, Shane, I want to go for maybe a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3, you can do it. You can do it. You could do something like this. Maybe focus on this order block up here. That could be your profit target. You could do it. Maybe this liquidity sweep right up there is where you want to target. I don't have a problem with any of it. Just understand that the further out your profit target is, the lower your winning percentage is. And the lower your winning percentage is, that means money. That means consecutive losses. That means you need to have more money to weather the storm. Now, ignore my leverage. I mean, this is what it is. Apply your own leverage. 1 to 3% on each trade. I will allow 5%, but I won't tell anybody. I like 1-to-1 risk versus rewards. I've had pretty good success with those over the years. So about, what is that, a 9 pip risk? So you're looking at 9 pips, 98.07, somewhere right in that area. That 105.07 maybe even would be a pretty darn good profit target. And right now we're in the green. We've got a nice little runner. We may have actually caught a little swing bottom here in this Euro USD. That's fantastic. Now, remember, this is scalping. So my position size, admittedly, this is demo dollars, is very, very low. If I was looking to scalp and just risking 9 ticks to win 9 ticks, I'm going to be playing for probably at least $20 a pip. $20 a tick, maybe even 50. That'll get you in the market and give you an ability really to succeed. Now, this looks to me like it's pretty good. The question is do we take it off or let it run? Your success as a crossover trader, be it the 920, even the 9 EMA strategy, or this 5813, your success will be predicated upon two things: your ability to be consistent and your ability to align risk versus reward and stick with the program. I want to take the money right now. That's how I'm built. That's how I'm wired. Is it the right thing to do? Probably not. Probably need to wait in there and see if we can get that last 5 pips. We've broken up above 115. I'm going to bring my profit target right down. And remember, you do this all on your DOM, but I'm going to bring that right down to 105.07 even. And that's going to be, in fact, where I get out of the market. Now, is it going to develop for us? Is it going to hit our target? It looks to me like we've got a pretty darn good shot. You've got a couple options right now, trade management-wise. You could move your stop loss to break even. You could. You could go from 114.89 right up there to 114.98 and say, okay, I'm playing risk-free. I don't advise doing that if we're scalping. I don't advise doing it if we're scalping. If we're playing a 1-minute chart with all these different setups and all these different trades every day, you moving your stop loss to break even is going to drive you crazy. You're going to get stopped out of a lot of trades. Like right here, we might get stopped out right here if we're at break even. I say let them run. I say trust market structure and let them run. That's my own opinion. Break everything down. Assign your risk, know your stop loss, know your profit target, wait for proper entry, and then execute. Is that going to win? I don't know. I know we're fighting a stiff trend. Could it win? Maybe. You'll see right here. I mean, just my gut says, that's a big time order block right there. A lot of action right around 115. You want to definitely keep trading on the top side of 115. You don't want to see price fall down beneath that, or else you're going to mill around down here for a while. Maybe you get paid, maybe you don't. I still like it, though. We're in bullish territory, and the trade is in the green. All right, I got way behind on the live chat. Sorry, we got into a live trade, and I wanted to make sure that I could break that down for you. Okay, guys, let me answer some of these questions. All right, watching from Botswana. Thank you, Lena. Always appreciate anybody tuning in from anywhere in the world. We have a truly global community here. H.O., good to see you. A.B., let me see. Money VD. Sir, do you trade with prop firms or your own capital? Which prop firm or broker would you recommend for a beginner, please? Well, we always say that if you're going to trade, you might as well get on over to switchmarkets.com and bring your ambition into focus. Thousands of markets, tight spreads, CFDs on things like Tesla. You've also got your gold spot. You've got all your forex pairs, US 30 CFDs as well. You can trade the indexes. You can trade stocks. You can trade individual stocks, stock indexes, majors, commodities, whatever you want to do. It's all right there. Even crypto. You can trade some crypto if you'd like. They've got everything for you. So if you were looking for a broker, I would definitely recommend switchmarkets.com. That's our partner broker here and how to trade. So you can definitely get in there. As far as do I trade with prop firms or my own money? I trade my own money. I've traded with prop in the past. I've had a few serious disagreements with the prop firms. I'm just kidding. The prop firm, one of the first ones I started with was Top Step Trader back in 2012 or 13. It's a long story, but I ended up not having any money to trade with, so I needed a prop firm, and I worked with them for quite a while. So they were pretty good. I know now there's just a million prop firms out there. So trade one that's like regulated and reputable inside of your own municipality, and you're going to be just fine. But I trade my own money, and the reason why is I like to get paid. I like to pay myself every week when I'm successful. Good, great question, Money. Greg, go forth. Yep, trying to front run has got me in trouble several times. I've learned to wait. You've got to wait till the candle closes, Greg. You got to wait, man. Eli, what's your lot size? This example was, I don't know, 100,000, which is, what is that, a micro lot or a, I don't know. I don't really think in terms of lot sizes. I think in terms of tick value. That's because I'm an old futures trader. So, if I was taking that type of scalp in the real world, I would be looking to play for at least $20 a tick, risk 200 maybe, or 250 to make 250. That's what I would be looking to get accomplished there on that trade. So I don't really know about the lot sizes. Let me see. Yurian Fernandez, what do you think of adding ATR to track volatility? Would that confuse me? What can be another extra confirmation? Can you suggest something? Yeah, Yurian, RSI works very, very well. If you wanted to use ATR, average true range, it's not a bad thing to do, because with that ATR, you're trying to project how far the next bar is going to go, and that can be absolutely fantastic. One of the things that I do like to do when we get a winner here live is to go ahead and ring the cash register. So let's go ahead and just flatten the market and take our money off. Our nice Euro USD trade did hit its target. Fantastic. Rack 'em. Ring the cash register. Never knew anybody that went broke taking profits, that's for sure. So you can certainly feel free to add ATR. Just do a little bit of back testing first and get a good idea of how that ATR functions within the framework of the crossover type of methodology. It can work, though. I like RSI. I think it's the easiest thing out there, and I like easy. Urian, I like easy. Easy's good. Flash Golden, all right. Flash. Roger that. Yeah, good to see you, Flash. Welcome. A lot of new names. I always love interacting with traders from really anywhere. If you have any questions at all, be sure to ask. Let me see Donald. Good to see you, Donald. Can you use this strategy on high time frames, including volatility? Yeah. I actually recommend that this 5-8-13 is used on like 15 and 30-minute charts, maybe even 4-hour charts for your forex majors, forex pairs. 4 hours, great. It just is going to turn into swing trading, not scalping. And today we wanted to scalp, so something like that. Let me see, Flash. Teach us some order flow liquidity. Next time we'll teach you about order flow. I haven't even touched order flow. It really ties in with my key level, my strategies around key levels. After doing this for a while, you pretty much know where the volumes are going to come into play at. That trade we just took right here on this Euro USD, if you want to talk order flow, I mean, it's all about 115. Look at this. Look at this compression right here. 115 is the battleground. That's exactly where the battleground is. We broke high, went up there about 115.08. Now we're coming right back down to 115. The order flow and the liquidity is at 115. No question about it. We could talk about that with some key levels. Maybe we'll do a key level workshop where I could talk a little bit about order flow and different things that can actually move markets relatively quickly. Let me see, Isak. Do Switch Markets open accounts for non-U.S. citizens? Yeah, Switch Markets is a non-U.S. broker. So let's say realistically, I mean, I'm not allowed to trade with Switch Markets because I'm here in the United States. But if you are in an international venue, to me, international, to you, just regular, your Switch Markets probably covers you. So go ahead and you just go to the website, and you make a few clicks, and you just go maybe open an account real quick, open a free demo account, and that's going to give you a bunch of menus, and you'll find out if you're eligible for a Switch account relatively quickly. So definitely want to check that out. Order flow, liquidity, interaction. Yeah, that's a big topic, Flash. I love key levels. They dictate all that stuff to me. But we'll do it. We'll do an order flow workshop maybe next week. It's a good idea. Meso, just wonder, what's the 13 EMA? What is it for? Meso, the 13 is the game. The 13. You know, I love it. It's like, I don't know if you guys watch cooking shows. I was a big Anthony Bourdain fan. R.I.P. God rest his soul. I was a big Bourdain fan. And, you know, he'd go all over the world and he'd watch these guys cook these local dishes. And, you know, the question was, well, all right, what's the chicken stock for? We're eating, we're eating beef ratatouille. Why is there chicken stock in there? And the answer is there's a reason for it. There's a reason for every ingredient in the stew. For us, our stew is very simple. The 5 crosses over the 8, that's going to be our signal to buy. But the 13 is what brings it all together. That's what that chicken stock's for. The 13 brings it all together because when price is above the 13, we know that macro trend, that 13 periodicity, the game's changing. And a lot of times what happens is that 5 will cross over the 8, but then price will close right beneath that 13 and you're not going to be able to buy it. Why? Because you don't have a full-blown breakout above that 13. The 13 is everything. You can't trade this strategy without the 13. The 13 tells you what the market's doing. The 5 and the 8 are just the dialogue of the short price action. The 13 tells you what direction we're going and if, in fact, we're going to change directions. The 13 is everything. Don't forget the 13. Never leave the 13. If somebody says you don't need the 13, go find a different strategy. Trade the 920. All right. Usman, I use 8, 13, and 21. Yeah, a lot of folks use the 21. I don't have any problem with the 8, 13, 21. As a matter of fact, it's more designed for pure day trading as opposed to scalping. We love the 5, 8, 13 because it's great for like a 1 minute and 5 minute chart. It really is. Well, we're 1 for 1 today. We won. Let me see. Money VD. What capital would you recommend for a beginner? A pure beginner? Somebody who's never traded before? Start small. I would be trading, you can open accounts for like $50 now. So I would start with $50 and just trade, Make trades that are just a few cents. Get in there, chart your results, and just wire up. Just level up as you move forward in time. One of the things that I was taught by my mentor, Gary Vernier, right when I first started, and he really was. He was a big shot on Wall Street. He was a Shell oil trader, made millions of dollars in the markets. The thing that he instilled on me is he said, listen, if you can make pennies, you can make dollars. Start small. Start small. Open an account for $50. Get in there. Then level up. If you want to go more than 50, go 500, go 1,000, go 2,500, whatever. Just don't get in there with your life savings as a beginner thinking that you're going to make a ton of money, because the worst thing that can happen to you is you will make a bunch of money and you'll think you're untouchable, and then you'll lose it all and then some. Start small, get some experience. You've got to get in there and figure out exactly how these markets work before you can do it, man. You got to do it. Money, starting capital, yeah, it would be very, very small for a pure beginner. Absolutely, Flash, you're welcome. Harry, thanks again for the live. Appreciate the lessons. Absolutely, Harry, you're more than welcome. All right, everybody, I've run on way too long. I want to thank you for joining me today. Unfortunately, we didn't get any more trades. I wasn't really happy. I mean, we got one. We won one. This gold trade's going to win, the 15-minute gold. Even that NASDAQ didn't get beneath that RSI. So right now we're just sort of chilling, waiting. Sort of negative sentiment on Wall Street. We've got a negative tote board right now, and then you've also got some positive moves. UK oil, for instance, is up almost 5%. That's Brent, North Sea Brent. And then you've got U.S. oil, which is WTI, up almost 4%, right around 74. The United States is going to strike Iran. It looks to me like it's a foregone conclusion. The asset pricing's telling me that. You've also got silver that's up about 2%, and also spot gold's about flat. Be very, very, very careful. Be very careful right now. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous times. Look for the Trump administration to launch an offensive against Iran here in the next 72 hours. Doesn't matter if we think it's right or wrong. If it's going to happen, we have to account for it in the markets. And all I can say, guys, is protect your money. Save your money, man. Protect your money. Believe me. Absolutely, Tuku, you're welcome. Eli, yep. Okay, guys, I'm going to sign off. I got one last question from Angeli. All right, Angeli, I'll answer. Is it okay to use non-regulated brokers to trade the NASDAQ 100 if living in the United States? Is it illegal? Yeah, I don't know. Switch Markets is regulated. I would steer clear of non-regulated anything. Are you in the United States, Angeli? If you're in the United States, you can easily trade the NASDAQ in the futures markets. E-mini NASDAQ or micro E-mini NASDAQ. You can do that in the futures markets. So I would say trade futures. Great. Great. Donald, I haven't seen Max. I haven't talked to Max in 3 years since he left. I've been excommunicado. I haven't talked to him at all. Always got along with him pretty well, though. So wherever you're at, Max, I'm sure you're doing pretty well. Smart guy. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for right now. If you have any questions at all, swing by howtotrade.com. Sign in, get an account, send me a private message. I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Very busy this week, though. If the news cycle kicks off, I won't be sleeping. So when you guys, if you're in the United States, when you're getting ready to go to bed, just remember I'm going to be in front of the screen. So the next time you see me, I might have some bags under my eyes. Remember, though, big event tomorrow, FOMC Live. We're going to have all the action for you live tomorrow, about 10 minutes before Jay Powell goes live with his presser. I'm going to be on here giving you what we should look for. Probably just going to be talking Trump. We're going to be talking Trump. We're going to be talking Iran, and it looks to me like that's going to be the news of the day coming into the midweek. If, in fact, that is the case, we're going to give you the geopolitical breakdown before Jay takes the stage, and then I will tell you exactly what I think of what he says, and we'll go from there. Money Viddies in the UK. All right, yeah. If you're in the UK, you've got a lot of regulated brokers to choose from. Switch is one of them, so check it out. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take off for right now. You guys have a fantastic trading session. As always, trade the action well, and we'll talk soon. See ya.